And I talk a lot about how with AI, we don't know what we want and we're just asking AI to fix it, but we're not actually getting clear on the vision in our production that we're putting on, or our ads, or our videos that we're creating, but also like, what do we want as a human being?
Man, if you picked a niche, then you can create marketing material that like speaks directly to the problems and the struggles that niche has, and how video helps, solve the problems. So, I mean, that's kind of it too. It's like, if you figure out like who you want to work with, or the kind of work that you want to do, or the stuff that you don't want to do, then you can spend more time and energy focusing on the things that you do and that you're just more drawn to, and that people are going to feel more connected to as you're making it, because that's probably more of what you're supposed to be doing.
You have a unique skill set where you are actually an artist of some sort, but there are a lot of people out there that just want to focus on their unique skill set, and they don't have that extra creativity that you have. And so it's a huge, amazing skill set that you have that the marketplace needs like now. And it is so possible to create your own tools with AI that you can sell now in addition to your services.
On episode 473 of the podcast, we talk about why AI is your creative assistant, not your replacement. It gives you time to do the real work. We also go over how to build interactive tools that turn quick wins into high-ticket clients who need your expertise. And then we also cover the power of authenticity indicators, AKA your screw-ups. I've got plenty of those, to build genuine connection with your audience. What is up, my friend? Welcome to the Grow Your Video Business podcast, where I am here to help you build a thriving, profitable business that you enjoy, that you thrive in, not just survive. Today, I'm hanging out with Mahoney, she is amazing. And it's like one of my favorite endings to a podcast ever. So you're in for a really treat. I was going to say a really treat. I'm glad I didn't say that. That'd have been embarrassing. You're in for a real treat. How about that? If you're new here, welcome. This is my first recording of an intro and outro for a podcast in 2026. So I'm a little behind with where we're at here, but regardless, I am here. I'm with you. I'm so excited about this year. I'm so excited about just all the opportunity, the people. I had a great day of interviews and mastermind and coaching, and I've just had a really, I'm ending my day here, but on a very high note. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here as a gift for the newbies and for the oldies, all of you other people, the bazillions of you that listen to the show. I'm teasing. I have a brand new resource. This thing is guaranteed, or your money back, to help you find money. It's designed to help you charge more, to find the gaps in your business. I've built a quiz. It's an assessment that kind of helps you uncover things in your current business, figure out where you might not be making the kind of money that you should be, and then I give you some practical ways on how to fix that. So you can get complete free access to this thing. I said, or your money back. Yeah, so it's free, or you get free back if you don't like it. If you go to quiz.studiosherpas.com, you can also go to studiosherpas.com/quiz. How about that? So go check out this assessment. It just takes a couple of minutes to do this. I promise you, if it's garbage, it's not garbage. But I'll give your money back. Okay, I will stop saying that dumb joke. But check it out at studiosherpas.com/quiz. I think you will really like it. So with that, let's get into today's episode.
What's up, my friend? Hey, welcome to another episode of the show. Today with me is Mahoney, who is the founder of The Prepared Performer. She also started the world's first AI content membership, and I got to hear her sing when she was on stage not that long ago at the AI Marketing World Conference, and was seriously, I've been following her for a long time. Watching her go from room to room and space to space over the few days that we were together, the way people would light up when she would come into
Aw.
the room and into the space and want to be in her presence. It was actually hard to try to get a conversation with her because people just adore this woman. So Molly, I'm so glad that we got a chance to hang out and to chat and all that.
Me
And
too.
thank you for being here today.
Yeah, super excited. Thanks. I don't know, when you put this video out, I don't know if both of us are on camera the whole time, but I think in the beginning, if I'm on screen, I was also being like a mime for some reason as well, which maybe I should add to my bio.
Also a mime. That's maybe not good to like promote for podcasts. I don't know if that's like,
Well, no,
super
it's a good way to get
helpful.
people. If you're listening to this podcast, now you need to go watch the video version of this podcast. And I hear that if you can get people to show up in multiple places, it increases, all the effectiveness. So
I've heard of this. Let's just do a quick let's let people know, how do you help, like when you explain like an ideal client and like a huge win for you in helping that client, what does that look like?
yeah, so I will tell you, just on this call today that I was just on, I came from another call with our mastermind members, and at the very end, this woman who is amazing and was actually a high school teacher for many, many years. When she first started working with us, she was serving high school students kind of as a college career coach. But about a week ago, we had a call and she said, I realized I know so much. She was like, you showed me like how I feel so confident after working with you about the real expertise that I have. And you've made all this AI stuff so easy. She said, I'm going to pivot my offer. Rather than helping the high school students, I actually want to help business owners to be able to, and she had this whole list of things. And we walked through it. And I said, I think that's actually a good idea. And she said, I'm going to go back to my high school students who are now old, and I'm going to go tell them like that I can help them with their stuff and see if they want me to be their like adult high school teacher again who can help them with their AI and their business. It was super funny. But at the end of the call, she was like, hey, and she raised her hand as I was getting ready to come meet you. And she said, I just have to share out loud. Within 1 week, she had already sold several multiple $1,000 packages of this new offer. And I love when people feel confident. They know they have the tools to just move into action. It is so exciting and freeing. And I am a possibilitarian where I can see the possibility like so clearly. And what I really love is when people have a framework and tools that they can follow that allows them to see that possibility as well, in the form of people throwing credit cards at their faces.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of that, that happened to me one time. I think it was 3 years ago. For the first time, I hosted an in-person event at our studio for filmmakers, and we got to the end of the event, and I really wanted to pitch this idea of a brand new kind of mastermind that I wanted to launch. And I second guessed myself, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. Like, I don't know the price point exactly, or the price point I had in mind I thought it was going to be too much and all this stuff. And we get to the end of the conference and I'm like, man, thanks so guys for coming. Thanks so much guys for coming. And they were kind of like, well, Ryan, we know that we can't all come here, like once a month to your studio from all over the US and whatever. So like, what is next? Like, what do you have for us? They were asking me, and I was just like, oh shoot, this is probably that time where I'm probably supposed to share this idea. And I'm like kicking the, kind of like looking at the ground. I'm like, well, I was kind of thinking about, and I slowly got this out, and they're like, okay, well, how much is the mastermind? I'm like, well, it's, I was thinking it's going to be like this much money. And I had one guy stand up, and he literally took his credit card and he threw it at me. He's like, I'm in. And then like 7 other people raised their hands, and it was the start of something that really has changed my life. And so anyway,
I used to, when I was speaking at events, sometimes I still do it, but I'll say, okay, just a question for everybody. Raise your hand if you have teeth.
Okay.
Most people raise their hand and say they have teeth. And then I'm like, great. This is another thing. If you're listening to this podcast, come watch the video, because then I say, great. If you have teeth, I just want you to go like this. They make this face like they're going to grab, like they're like, right?
Oh my gosh.
And then so everybody's doing it and they're looking around. And then I'm like, because after you learn this strategy, I want you to be able to catch those credit cards, because people are going to throw credit cards at your face.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a really funny moment. That's not where I wanted to take the conversation after you shared all of that, because I was like, but that was just the perfect segue. I haven't really shared that story before.
I love it.
Anyway, so my follow-up question was, so you believe in the power of masterminds?
Oh, times a million. Yes, 100. And I am also actually a certified mastermind addict. So I have to be careful because, and this,
Sir.
like, I made some decisions this year to drop one of them, which was a very difficult decision for me because I loved it so much.
Yeah.
But I can't, I think I'm in like 5 masterminds,
Oh
but
my gosh.
it's okay. I run 2 of them. One I run myself. The other I am like a coach for. And then,
Yeah.
so I have my own, and then I'm one of the directors with Onyx and Gall's board of experts. And then I'm in 3 others, which is a lot if you're running your own business. But I think there is such value to coming together and learning from each other. So
yeah. What would you say if you had to put like a dollar value on your, not your, how much money you've spent, because it's probably been a lot, but the return on that investment? Is there like a rough estimate?
If I hadn't ever been in a mastermind, or like if I expand that to like coaching program, I would not have my business. I would be trying to sell mascara and voice lessons. So here we are.
Yeah.
I mean, we've generated over $7 million.
Yeah.
So it's over $7 million is what I would say.
That is amazing.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like the power of community, the power of proximity, the power of people in a room that believe in you and that want the best for you, and that aren't afraid to speak up and share what's true, whether that's like good news or bad news. It's been life transforming for me too. We're in the season right now. We've opened up applications for mastermind, so it's just a great segue. I did not intend to sit here, but seriously, like whether or not people are considering my mastermind, there are so many groups out there that have quality people that people might resonate with.
And there's like an energetic. There's an energetic thing to it, right? And I had someone, I was just telling the story this morning, that I had someone at an event pull me aside and say, "Hey," it's like, "Yeah." She was really like emphatic. And she said, "I see you." And I was like, "Okay, I see you too." And she said, I can tell that you don't necessarily really resonate with what's happening in this room. And she said, "You're on stage and things are being said that I find offensive. And I see that you're reacting to them in a way where you think they're offensive as well." And I was like, "Yeah, you're not wrong." She said, "So why are you speaking on this stage?" And I said, and this is a group of people that I love, and I disagree with the way that they communicate sometimes. And she said, "Why are you here? Like, why? I can tell this isn't actually your place where you actually belong." And I said, I've created my own community of my own like Disney loving kind weirdos who like to make an impact and make money. And I know not of all of my Disney loving kind weirdos feel comfortable in a room that is maybe a little more like hardcore marketers. So I can go into those rooms of hardcore marketers and I learn things and I fit in and I enjoy it and I can bridge the gap. So you may have like your core group of humans, but then you may find that you like blend in these different places. And I think it's really interesting, and it's important for everyone to find their core group. But then also if you're someone who can kind of step outside of your core group a little bit and find the benefit that happens when you do that, it can be really beneficial.
Yeah. One of my favorite songs the last couple of years is by a guy named Drew Holcomb. It's called "Find Your People."
Oh, I don't know him at all. I'm going to write that down.
Cool. I'm not gonna. I won't sing the chorus.
I would be excited if you did.
Okay, so AI. It's like every other podcast episode. There's so much. The few conferences that I've gone to the last few months, so much around leveraging your time, right? As creators, there's like, we can create a lot more content and whatever. But when we look at proposal, I just finished a proposal for this massive project, this piece that I don't know. There's this huge casino being built in a state far away, and I don't even remember how they found us, but we're in the final runnings here. And it's what used to would have taken me, I don't even know, 10, 15 hours to like put together this like massive proposal. I've got 2 calls that have both been recorded where I've asked a lot of questions. I've got all of this information about them, plugging it into ChatGPT, bringing it over into Gemini, having those 2 go back and forth, putting it into another one and say like, okay, like in my voice and my tone and our approach with our framework and all the things. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And this is like, today, to be honest, I probably spent a little over an hour on it, which is way more than what I normally spend. But that's just one use case. That's not about, creating video content or whatever. But I, from your perspective, speaking to me as I own a video production studio. This is the service that we provide for people. What would you say is like one of the greatest advantages that video producers have in this space of AI?
Yeah. I mean, so I think a really good video producer is great at the storytelling and the visual production of what you're putting out into the world, right? I think one thing that it can help with that some people may skip because they know how to create a beautiful video or a powerful video or a cool video is they sometimes may be tempted to skip some of the market research or the backstory research. Like I have a theater background and my husband is a musician, and we were talking to our kids and we used the word dramaturg. Do you know what that is?
Dramaturg?
I said it weird because my son thought we said dramaturd.
Well, I don't think I've heard of either one of those.
You usually pronounce it as like if you're in conversation is dramaturg with a G. So dramaturg. Okay. It's a real role of a real person who works with a theater company. When a show is being put on, there is one human whose sole responsibility is doing historical research for the show so that the characters we were just at a show, a design preview party for a production of Scrooge the musical. And a good friend of mine was the dramaturg for this. And I was like, man, he's a lawyer and that is like not what he does, but he did it for this show. And I was like, man, he should do that all the time. Cause he then told this story and was explaining like in Scrooge, in A Christmas Carol, even though it's a story that we know, like here's some things you may not know about it. And the way these things are pronounced and the way, what type of disease did Tiny Tim have?
Tiny Tim. Yep.
Do you know what he had?
He had AIDS, I think. I'm just kidding. I'm not sure that was it. We lost her, guys. Molly left the building.
Strangely enough, no, that's not what Okay. He had rickets, which they only which is, did you know, curable? When you feed a kid, they don't have rickets anymore because it's malnourishment that causes it. So the fact that
there we go,
they fed Tiny Tim at the end and he got better, like that proved that he had rickets. But so take a story that we all have heard a million times, but you have someone do actual research on the details of the story. It can have such a huge effect on all the things that we're doing afterwards because we take time to do the backstory work. Do you know who Konstantin Stanislavski is?
Did he have AIDS? This is like so bad.
I don't think so. But he was one of the world's main theater theorists, like in the world of theater. And when I was getting my BFA, there was a poster on the wall that was Stanislavski's chart. And it's everything that it takes to be a true actor, like to be like Meryl Streep. There's all these different pieces to it. But the biggest thing on the bottom of it is work on one's self, which a lot of people skip. They don't actually know. I mean, I talk a lot about how with AI, we don't know what we want and we're just asking AI to fix it, but we're not actually getting clear on the vision in our production that we're putting on or our ads or our, videos that we're creating, but also like, what do we want as a human being? And so AI can actually help you figure out what you want as a human as well.
Okay. So what do you mean?
So we have this program, this exercise called the Dream Activator that is an AI tool that if you go to it, you answer like 4 different questions, and then it writes out your dream vision so that you know what your North Star or your like bigger purpose, what your mission is in life.
Okay. That's
And
cool.
and then you can
Uh,
make decisions from a
yeah.
more educated place rather than just like throwing things spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah, I think that's the challenge that so many of us run into when we start our creative business. We're not charging as much as we should, so we're probably getting hired more than we probably should because people are getting a killer deal.
Yeah.
And then we realize that we should be charging more, and then we start. But in the meantime, we're doing a little bit of everything, and now we're just taking whatever jobs we can because now we quit our other job, and like this is the thing that we've gone all in on, and we do it for years, and then we kind of forget like, wait, why did I get
What do I
into this work?
want?
Because I
Yeah.
don't love what I'm doing today. I don't really like it at all, and if I did something else, maybe that would be more fun and fulfilling. And I think, if you've never had a coach, if you haven't been in a mastermind, if you don't have people in your life that really are trying to help you achieve all that you can achieve by asking you those questions of like, what do you really want? Or based on, how I see you living and what I know about what you do with work, it seems like you're not really doing the thing that you were so excited about day
Yeah.
one. So what happens? And, can you get back there? I love that you have a tool to at least get that conversation started.
Yeah, and I think that my real truth is that I use AI as a Trojan horse because people are like, "Oh, there's a tool that will do that for me." And you can get it. It's molly.live/dream activator. It's just like out there. You can go use it. And then when you get there, you're going to have to answer questions about what you would love. So it
Oh
forces you
yeah.
to actually do the work and make some decisions because you
Yeah.
have this carrot of the AI written thing on the other side.
Yeah, that's really good. And I would say people could probably stop listening to this episode right now if they just would take the time to answer that question. What is it that you really, really want to do?
Yeah.
And I think this episode is coming out around the start of the new year or the end of the year or something. And it's just a great time to ask that question. Like, what does this year look like? And what do I want it to look like? And who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? And what do I want to do? If I get to choose how I'm going to make money and who I get to work with, like, what does that look like? And taking the time to paint that picture.
And then that's going to make everything else you do with AI or not fall into place in a more powerful way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pointed. We talk about niching, so much on this show and in all of the workshops and everything that I do. And it's so that you can, man, if you picked a niche, then you can create marketing material that like speaks directly to the problems and the struggles that niche has and how video helps, solve the problems. So, I mean, that's kind of it too. It's like, if you figure out like who you want to work with or the kind of work that you want to do or the stuff that you don't want to do, then you can spend more time and energy focusing on the things that you do and that you're just more drawn to and that people are going to feel more connected to as you're making it, because that's probably more of what you're supposed to be doing.
It's true. And I think a lot of people, when it comes to the ideal clients, they think about the problems that they experience or their pain points. Like that's something that's talked about a lot. We have this ideal client avatar tool, and we not only talk about the pain points, but we talk about the tickle points because people are so over.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you know what people laugh at in your community, in your audience, your ideal clients, and you incorporate that into your content, people will throw up credit cards at your face. It's true.
This is true. I think that's what I appreciate about you so much. Your talk, you just being you. I think you give that, you just do such a great job of giving permission to people. What's your phrase? Like, embrace your weird.
Yeah. Like your weird is your superpower.
Your weird is your superpower. And
Yeah.
if you look at Molly, I'm not going to say she looks weird, but she is not afraid to embrace. How do I say this without like totally?
No, it's the best. I am grateful for it. Thank you. Yes. We have a whole thing. So when my kids were little and they were leaving the house, I would say, what's the most important thing in our family? And my youngest son had a hard time saying his K's. So he would always say kindness. Because it's supposed to be kindness, right? But he would say kindness.
It's the best.
So cute. But the other thing that we say is weird is wonderful. And so just knowing that weird is wonderful and that, you know, the more you can be your own unique version of who you are and celebrate that, the biggest thing I think is that it does give permission to others to be their own weird, wonderful self as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. I love that. Was there a moment where you saw that play out and it actually became real? Because as a sophomore in high school, I can just like imagine somebody telling me that and just being like, yeah, right, bruh. Like I am not stepping anywhere. If I think it's weird, like I'm staying away because I can't have people thinking of me like that. Was there a moment for you?
I mean, I am so grateful to my parents for like always celebrating that. And I started doing musical theater very actively when I was 8 years old. So the time before I was 8, maybe, but I don't know. Because even so, like in high school, and now I look back and I'm like, someone should have told me how weird I was because in high school, there's one specific moment where I will go like, it's the cringiest thing it's the cringiest thing in my life. So my aunt took me to Disneyland when I was 15 she was taking a jazz studies class and they had a big band at Disneyland. And I went with her to Disneyland and she was like taking notes on the big band or something, but all these people were swing dancing at Disneyland. And I was like, what is happening? And so I think I was wearing like Doc Martens and overalls or something. And I went up to one of the people there and I was like, oh, do you work here? And he said, no, we come here to dance and we dress up. And he was like, do you want to dance? And I was like, okay. So I knew a little bit about swing dancing just from dancing at home with my grandma or something. Yeah. And but I ended up when I turned 16, I ran into that same guy at another music festival near us. And I was like, oh my gosh, do you remember me? I'm sure he did not remember me because I became really good friends with him and people would come up to us like that all the time. But from then on, I started wearing all vintage clothes every day, like nonstop. I went swing dancing 4 nights a week, like actually swing dancing 4 nights a week when I was in high school. Wow. And it was the greatest. I'm so grateful for it. Here is the cringy part. Like, and I did like dance camps in Sweden and like I literally my whole life was based around swing dancing.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
For my senior picture in high school, I wore it was not even cute. I wore like a black like 30. I tried to look like I was like in the 1930s, like a black sweater with pearls. I had my hair like I used to wear victory rolls all the time in high school also, but I had my hair like in this little like 30s bob. And then the part that's the most awkward is in the photo, I'm like not really fully smiling. I'm like giving this weird kind of smile. Now, here's the worst part. I was ASB president. Guess what happened with that photo? It is on the wall in the student center still to this day.
No.
So when I was teaching dance and musical theater and all this, I would have students who went to that high school and they'd be like, what is that photo of you? Because none of the other kids, like I graduated in 1998. So it's like 90s kids and then this weird like 40-year-old. But here we are still showing up authentically or what I thought was authentic at the time. So I think it was forced then.
That is amazing. I remember when I was in high school, I played football 10th, 11th, 12th grade. And then they were doing, for the musical, they were doing The Wizard of Oz.
Not what I expected you to say in terms of football player. I thought you were going to say like a show that had football in it. Like, no.
Oh, yeah, totally. And I thought, I'm like, I'm graduating. I've always loved The Wizard of Oz. I was in a band. I started in a band in like 8th grade or something like that. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it. Molly, football for me, that was really the first time that I experienced the kind of family that I always wanted to have.
Yeah.
Brotherhood. Our coach was just this magnetic leader. And but when I joined up with all of these
weirdos
kids and I had the best time. It was like the best thing I could have done in high school because it expanded my horizon. I met so many weird kids that I was like, man, like the freedom that these kids have, like that's what I want. I want to be like this. So that was just like one of my favorite takeaways, being part of a musical.
That's a great transition for a senior year also, to like expand yourself when you're getting ready to go out into the real world. So
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So much goodness there.
So cool.
Okay. Let's talk about AI powered content that converts. So again, I'm building this. I've got this service-based business. I want to grow. I want to get more ideal clients. I want to get clients that, get my weird. Because I know when they do, like, we're just going to have more fun working together. We're going to make better stuff working together when that's the case versus like just trying to take whatever jobs come in. Where do I start? What ideas do you have? Help me brainstorm here.
We talked about your ideal client, but that's not actually where you start. What you start with is you and actually documenting your weird. So I'm going to just say it really quick for time, but we have a framework called the Quesadilla of Awesome. And the Quesadilla of Awesome is because everyone has something that makes them uniquely awesome, even if it's just that you make an amazing quesadilla. And you can put all kinds of stuff in your quesadilla, right? So we've got to figure out what your recipe is, just like Stanislavski said, work on oneself. So we have a framework where I'm going to go super fast through it. Is that okay?
Go. Yeah.
I'm going to go slow before I go fast. So it's, you make a list of all the things that make you uniquely awesome. So it's your skill set, your appearance, your activities that you love separate from your business, your values, and the things you like to eat. And so if you make a list of all those things, you create this ecosystem of humanity that you can then use to feel more confident in who you are because you've identified who you are for yourself.
Yeah.
But then also you create this like beacon for other people who are your type of weird. So it creates these connection points that you can have conversationally. You can also weave into your content so that when you're using AI, it has a grounded recipe for who you are and where to pull those human things from. So you start with who you are, you add in your ideal client, and then after you have those two things in place, you create a list of buying beliefs that people would need to have in order to actually want to work with you. So if you're someone who creates videos on film and your ideal client doesn't know that when you use actual film, it creates a completely different experience for the viewer than using an iPhone, you would have to instill that belief or squish that objection that they may have to wanting to work with someone who uses film. And so that's just one little example, but there's like all of these different beliefs and we have loads of different belief categories. We call it a tree of beliefs. And so we always start by anything that we're doing. We create this tree of beliefs and then we create content or emails or, videos or webinars or speaking on, talks on stage, things like that. We create those based on those buying beliefs. And then you get magic.
That's great.
And then people throw credit cards at
Then you get magic.
And then
throw it,
all together in like a strategic system that has a call to action and a whole bunch of things and other things we can talk about. But that's like the main structure is you make sure you start with those buying beliefs.
That's good. Okay. So could a buying belief be one? I think I'm just in the past few weeks through some brainstorming and things that I've been doing. When I talk to somebody who already believes in the power of story when it comes to video, versus somebody who wants a features video capabilities. We've been in business for 50 years.
Yeah, like the difference between features and benefits. And storytelling.
So like when I'm talking to somebody who already like, no, like that's what we want, something that's emotional. It's going to connect to the heart, get people leaning in. Like, it's like, I'm not even selling anything. I'm just like, oh, okay. So which package do you want? Or how much, versus like me trying to convince this person over here that it's worth investing in having a story because it's going to do X, Y, and Z. Is that?
Totally. So what we look at it is that when you're creating content, you're building a library of content and you don't necessarily know unless you're doing some very targeted ad, but that's harder and harder. You don't know who's going to actually end up seeing that piece of content. So What I notice most people do is they create what I call why this type of beliefs. So like why videos with storytelling in them would be like a why this type of belief. And that can be great, but it's usually going to resonate more with people who already understand that or who are already looking for that solution. So this is really cool where the tree of beliefs, which our main framework for that goes like this: why me, meaning why the human. So that's separate from what you're offering. Like why, what do they actually want? Why this, which is why the mechanism that you're using. So why video or why storytelling, whatever. Then why you, which is why you, the brand, you, the person. Then why not, which is where you squish the objections. And then we have why stay, which is why people would want to buy from you again and again. And then why worse, why it would be worse if they didn't use you. So that's like the real fear-based stuff, right? So we have all those beliefs. Then on the other side, we have this pyramid of awareness. And so the pyramid of awareness starts with completely unaware. So I had a video, I don't know if I told you this, but I had a video that reached 39 million. Did I tell you this?
Yes.
Organically on Facebook. They paid me $30,000 for it. It was the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. Do you know what it was about? Did I tell you?
I don't remember.
It was a video of a bath bomb with bugs in it. Okay. So when Facebook started paying people for reels, I was like, oh, these videos are so weird, not in the best way. And I went back to my phone and I was like, let me just find the craziest video I can find. And I had a bath bomb that when I put it in the bathtub, I thought it was lavender. So in the video, I was like, oh, is this lavender? No, they're flipping termites, is what I said naturally in the video. Yeah. You would think people would run away, but no, they fought in the comments about what kind of bugs it was. And people were like cussing me out in the comments. Okay, so that video would be what we call unaware content. And so when people are talking about creating viral content, I'm like, okay, but is it actually like a video about bugs is going to hit a wider audience? They're not necessarily going to buy my video storytelling package, right? So we go from this wide video, but then out of the 39 million people, 5,000 of them followed us. So out of all these, humans, we had 5,000 that were like our type of weirdos. They came to our page and saw the other content. So if we have this unaware stuff, then we have problem aware. So those are people who know in the video world, they know they need more clients. They know they need more leads. They don't know that video is a solution for them to grow their business potentially, or whatever it is they want to do, right? So we have problem aware. Then we have solution aware, and those people know that they need video, but they may not understand that storytelling is there. So we're getting higher up the pyramid. Once we start to get to the product aware, like in between the solution and the product aware, that's where we start to get that storytelling element. But that's going to be a much smaller group of people. So what you want to do is go back to the tree of beliefs and create your own audience who are now aware of the fact that storytelling is important. So you do videos teaching the fact that storytelling is important. And then by the time they get on the sales call with you, you're back to that place where it's easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, rewind when I first started my business, the conversations I was having with like so many people not calling me saying that they wanted video, but at networking events, like, oh my gosh, I just remember the Chamber of Commerce. I was a member of the Royal Oak Chamber of Commerce. I was 25. I feel like I was still a baby. I was an infant when it came to business. And people would ask me what I did, and I would start talking about video. And back in 2005, nobody was doing video, or and at least no local businesses were. And I just spent all of my energy trying to convince people that it was worth looking into, versus people already coming to me, being pre-sold, believing that they need video. They're just not sure exactly what kind or who they need to work with. Or, I've seen like, well, do we need a commercial? Or like, a friend of ours has a story and that's interesting and compelling. What do we need? It's like so much, my work has become so much easier when I've identified that, oh my gosh, I've been trying to convince people versus guiding them toward.
And it can be scary, I think, for some people who aren't as like advanced and cool as you, where you maybe are already connected to people who are those people who already know they want video, and you have like a a history that you've been building since then.
Yeah.
So for newer people, if you find yourself at a Chamber of Commerce event where you're talking to someone who like you find yourself in that kind of situation, I think it's such a great exercise to really pull back and listen to where they are at
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
trying to like shove your solution into people. Because
Yeah.
it still happens to me
Yeah.
now with people that I know really well who are like, no, but you need to do this. I'm like, do I actually though?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
you're not
Oh
listening
man.
to me, you know? So
Mhm.
listen and see where are those why me type beliefs popping up and how can you create a through line? Like, oh yeah, man, I hear people saying they want leads all the time. Like, what are you doing to help get
Yeah.
more eyeballs on your content? It doesn't have to say, what are you doing for video? You say like, what are you,
Yeah.
there's all kinds of different ways that you can bridge that gap in the conversation.
I love that. Yeah, being more inquisitive and not feeling like, okay, I got to just squeeze in my little elevator pitch and then I did it. I can check the box and say I did it and nobody followed up and okay, but that's on them or whatever. But yeah, if you can ask more questions and walk away from a conversation knowing more about that person than they know about you, you will be able to serve them super well when you follow up with them and say, hey, I remember the conversation that we had the other day. You were talking about, wishing that your marketing was actually working for you. Hey, I've got an idea. Oh, I'd love to run it past you. Let's hop on a call,
Yeah.
blah, 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 versus like just assuming, hey, here, I don't know much about you, but here's what I know works. You should do video. Let's hop on a call. What do you say?
Yeah. Amen. 100%. Done. Podcast over.
Okay, we're winding down, but I want to know, like, okay, don't leave us without. Okay, you've actually been very, very helpful. This has been really, really good. I'm just like, what am I not asking?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're very well versed in the AI stuff. So, what are any other AI tools that we should be thinking about using, getting our time back, creating content for clients, whatever it might be?
As a video professional, you have a unique skill set where you are actually an artist of some sort, which most business owners, I don't even know what the percentage of that is. I bet a lot of business owners feel like some sort of, artistic pull, like they're like entrepreneurial or whatever. But there are a lot of people out there that just want to focus on their unique skill set and they don't have that extra creativity that you have. And so it's a huge, amazing skill set that you have that the marketplace needs like now. And it is so possible to create your own tools with AI that you can sell now in addition to your services. So selling software as a service that either helps you to be able to produce better results for your clients, helps them to get a big win so they realize that you are the genius that you are. And, it feels interactive because these AI tools that we can build they feel like such magic. I call these activation offers. So I know that there are people in the creative space who are afraid of AI. I work very closely with a theater company. I did a video for them for the Scrooge production, and we had lots of hate comments on it. And all it was just an image of the guy playing Scrooge, like zooming in, and then there was snow and like some movement in the background. It was very basic, but people got really mad, like really mad.
Wow.
And it wasn't my account, so I couldn't yell at them. And I also want to be mindful that I know there are a lot of people and artists in the world who are afraid of what's happening with AI. And my real mission is for us to know that we can use AI to help amplify what we're doing as artists so we have more time to do the real creative work. So, example, when Sora came out, I could see, and those of you that don't know what Sora 2 is, it's the ChatGPT video generator. And wait, have we done cameos together on Sora? Are you on Sora?
I am on Sora.
We need to make that happen. So when this first came out, people were freaking out because what you can do is in a very short amount of time, you can train your likeness, your voice, your image, and all of this into this AI tool. It creates 15-second videos, 10 to 15-second videos. And if you have a pro high account, you can do 25 seconds actually. But it is wild what you can do. And I could see a lot of video creators being like, oh no, this is gonna hurt my business or something like that, even though it's
Yeah.
only creating these 15-second videos. But what I decided to do, rather than being like, how am I going to use this to grow my business? And this is the like real nugget of today, is rather than asking yourself, what can I do to grow my business? Take a step back and look at what can I do to help other people to succeed. And so instead of just using Sora for myself, I went to AI and I did the same thing that you were talking about earlier, going back and forth between ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. And I came up with this idea of a prompt library app that I created called Sora Spark. And it's 200 prompt templates that's interactive. So people can go to these prompt templates that are all divided by categories. So there's like a buying beliefs one, who would have thought? They click on that template library for the buying beliefs. There's 20 different templates there. They enter in kind of Mad Lib style what their business information is or what their ideal client information is, whatever. There's different templates in there. And then it creates a Sora prompt that then they can then use and put into Sora. Now, here's the thing. If you create a software tool that helps people to get better results with video, they're only going to get so far. And then they're going to get to the point where they're like, I need help. Because some people are going to want those quick wins. But when you give them that quick win, and inside these interactive tools, you can build agentic systems that follow up, that connect, that move people through your client journey. And it is actually relatively so easy once you actually figure out how to do it. I just think most people don't realize what's possible. So I did the whole thing within 3 days. We had 130 sales from idea to app launch with no ads.
Sheesh.
It's really cool.
Tool-wise, Agentic System, like, is there one?
Yeah. We love
recommend?
MindPal and bringing like when it first starts, basically what it's doing is combining different GPTs almost together. So combining different AI agents together. But then MindPal has the MCP integration where you can then connect it to 8,000 other tools. So someone puts in, like for a video creator, if you have a script system that you love, someone can put in their information. It can then write their ideal client avatar. It can then write the buying beliefs. And then it goes to a third agent that writes the actual script. And then that script can be automatically sent to HeyGen or some other tool, or automatically sent in an email or a spreadsheet to your client for them to go record the video so you can edit it. Like all the things that you're doing in your business that have multiple steps like that, how can you weave them together by connecting these different tools? And then we love High Level, which is getting better and better every day.
Every day they keep making improvements.
I know.
Okay, so having so if somebody wants to get their hands dirty, Agentic System, actually building the app.
Yeah, for building the actual app
something-
out, we love Base44. I don't know what you're using, but
Okay.
people I know love Lovable and Bolt, but Base44 is my favorite just because it's so simple. Like you don't need to know anything besides English, but it probably knows other languages besides English. I just haven't tried.
I got to play with, or after the conference, I started playing with Lovable.
Yeah.
And I've created like 3 different things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like insane. It's addicting.
It is. It's wild.
Dived deep into the agentic systems just because it hurts my brain a little bit to think about all of the things connecting.
Okay, this is actually, and I know we talked about this a little bit, but you may hear people talk about N8N, which is very similar to Zapier, but it has like AI capabilities that are a little fancier. But I personally think we aren't going to need the wildness of N8N because of this thing called an MCP. And so an MCP is a model context protocol. And a model context protocol is a little, I like to liken it to a switchboard operator, like from the 50s, the little image of like, oh, I'm going to, hello, how may I help you? And then connect you to something else. But this is, you just tell AI, like you give AI the permission to use Gmail, calendar.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a Google thing, but like your ConvertKit. Yeah, Facebook, you give, and whatever has the capability via either MCP or API or whatever, it can connect to those tools. So like Zapier has 8,000 connections in it. And if you're using MCP with Zapier, you can pull in LinkedIn, you can pull in all these different things and create your own ecosystem. It's wild.
I love that. Man, okay, we got to do a workshop at some point. This is like so good. So much goodness in here. Where are the places people can find you, look for you, sign up for all of your free stuff? I know you got so many helpful resources.
Where do we go? Yeah, so our main website is mollymahoney.com. We are in the process of moving everything from the Prepared Performer over to Molly Mahoney as like a personal brand. So it's always very scary when I share. I have a new Instagram, Molly Mahoney Official. And I put together a really cool resource for you guys, which is our ideal client avatar generator, totes for free. And so, Ryan, where can we get it, Ryan? Do you remember? I've got it right here.
No, I'm going to go. Molly.live/GYVB. Wow, this is the worst commercial ever. GYVB, grow your video business. Okay, molly.live/GYVB.com. Just kidding about the .com.
Just kidding. Molly.live/GYVB. And I will just say, Ryan just did a very perfect example of what we call an authenticity indicator. I think I learned that from Rachel Miller a very long time ago, but when you trip up over your words, don't edit it out. Leave it there. It's an authenticity indicator. It's perfect.
And you're welcome. That's brilliant. Thank you for that gift. How do you want to leave us today?
Hey, I just think the most important thing that you can do is to figure out who you are as a human being and let your freak flag fly. So, thinking about Ryan in high school, I would just like to say, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why? Then oh, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
That's amazing. Oh, you're the best, Molly. This was so fun. Thank you. I really appreciate it. This is really great.
You're so awesome. And come hang out with me on Facebook. That's my main platform. So I'm a California Karen who loves Facebook. Come hang out with me.
I'm in.
I love it.
Hey, thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Grow Your Video Business podcast. If you got something out of today's conversation, do me a favor, share it with a friend or post it on your socials. Tag me at Ryan Coral or at Grow Your Video Business. I'd love to know what resonated with you. If you've got a question or takeaway, drop a comment wherever you're listening or watching this. You can also shoot me a message. I read every single one. And hey, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. We've got more stories, strategies, and behind the scenes insights coming your way to help you build a business that you love. Keep creating, keep sharing your story, and keep showing up. I'm cheering you on. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you next time.